happiness. I don't understand the concept. I can't fully grasp it. I can't fully feel it. I don't feel it at all. I don't understand the emotion. Coming from a pessimist, of course, pain is inevitable, you know, the remorse, the anguish, the agony. It's so practical. But something like a smile or anything else, actually, of course, you know, whether it be love or anger or just hope, things like that aren't just common feelings. I've restricted myself as a person. I don't understand something, and so, you know, when you don't understand something, if you're that kid in class who doesn't understand the whatever the math problem is, you know, the slope-intercept form or whatever calculus problem you want to talk about, if you're going to sit there in your desk and you're not going to ask, if you're going to refuse to attempt to, you know, pursue an answer, if you're not going to figure a thing out, you're never going to find a thing out. So you're going to sit there all semester and you're going to fail. Now, to the kid who raised his hand, I envy you, because I used to be that kid who wanted more, who wanted to, you know, learn more, who wanted to be more. You know, sometimes you look at the pain, or you look at this emotion, this so ignorantly tunnel-minded emotion, and when you feel that emotion, that's that only thing you can feel at all. And whether it be happiness or anger, etc. Example, because I like to make things more practical, if an emotion is a direct chemical, when you're feeling that, your mind is just repeatedly pumping in that chemical. And so while it's difficult to go against the grain, it is physically possible to you know, stop doing what everyone else is doing, even if that thing that you got to stop doing is what you've been doing as long as you've known, you know. You know, we talk about how bandwagons are bad, how just if someone's doing something, you don't just do it. You know, if someone walks off a cliff, you don't go ahead and follow them. But what if you're that guy walking off the cliff and all you're doing is following yourself? So then that's a really simple answer. All you have to do is turn around. All you have to do is use the feet that you've had your whole life and turn around. It's so easy to be controlled by what we believe to be such a unexplainable complex. You know, we're all just human, but just because we're human doesn't mean we're simple at all. And I think that we'd like to overcomplicate things for ourselves. Why hurt your head in the process? Why hurt someone else in the process? Why hurt yourself in the process? You know, if you can actively decide to be depressed every day, and some of which for no cause at all, why can't you actively decide to be happy? You know, depression is a disorder, and let me speak ignorantly right now. Depression is a disorder where you can just be hit by a wave of like sadness, right? Well, what's the disorder for getting hit by a wave of happiness? You have to be bipolar? Do we have to name it something else? Or why can't you just selectively decide to make yourself happy? If some, you know, syndrome can decide whether you want to get up in the morning, why don't you get to decide if you're up in the morning? You know, your body can overrun your mind. Because the biggest example, you know, growing up we used to play this game with flinching or whatever, right? Someone tries to like smack you, and you can test yourself right now. If you go like that, you see that little twitch in my eye. The reason that happens is because our bodies, it's called self-preservation. You know, maybe if you have bad reflexes, that's a bad example, but we as people don't like to pursue death. You know, adrenaline is its own thing on behalf. Some people like to feel like they're getting that rush, but no one is pursuing their death. So if you know, if you're not pursuing to die, why are you living as if you're already dead? If you're alive, why not live? You know, it's not even a question at that point. That's like asking a rhetorical question. That's like saying, if you're paying for the internet, do you use the internet? If you bought food, do you just let it sit in your fridge and rot? It's common sense. If you have something, you need to be using it. You know, if you have a life, you need to be using it. If you're dead, act like you're dead. If you're alive, live. I mean, I don't know why such a rhetorical statement even needs to be made. Maybe you fought too much with your parents, bad example, but why is it when some higher power tells you to do something, you can do it, but when you have the free time to make a decision for yourself, you don't do it? And these are people striving for independence, or these are people who are like, I want something, I want to be treated like a human. Well, why are you asking the rest of the world to treat you like a human if you can't treat yourself any better? Your thought process influences your actions influence the outcomes, and it's those outcomes of those decisions that once again influence our thought processes. So your thought process is only going to change if your actions change. Your actions are only going to change if you decide to change your thoughts.